Welcome to another episode of St. Vincent Untold Stories. On this episode, we just want to update you on the things that are going on in St. Vincent and the Grenadines right now. Big ups to all of my subscribers. And if you are new to the channel, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon if you want to be notified when the next video is due. The reason why you need to hit that bell icon, it's so that you can get the video as soon as it drops. Over the weekend, there was a lot of rainfall, causing a lot of lahars. Some of the same houses that the big man sent the residents to clean back were flooded out once more again. Even some that wasn't flooded the last time were flooded this time. I want to just explain something that the big man isn't explaining properly in layman's term. So by now, everybody knows that there is a pandemic going on worldwide. It is not just in St. Vincent. Some are saying that it is real, and some are saying that it is not. But the fact remains that persons are going to dovecot, so something is definitely real. So now, the big man is asking persons to take the job. But as I told you before in a previous episode, some were saying that he should have closed the borders from the start. But let me show you something. There was one or two that was still going to slip through the cracks. Because the way how the thing works, you might show up negative today, and by few days time, you have the big C. Him asking you to take the job. It is not him alone. It is all the prime ministers around the world. It is a worldwide thing. But you see, his approach from the start was the reason why many persons had changed their mind about the situation. Because persons had heard this and heard that, and you are changing your tongues. The persons were saying, no, we can't trust these people. The situation in which they said that you have to take the job before you go into the shelters if you evacuated, that was one. Number two, you guys said that the ships wanted persons to take the jobs before they take them to the other Caribbean islands, and that was another one. So you see, if you guys are speaking things that are untrue, how can they have faith in you? It is like some people would tell you, if that person tells you to run, do not run. You have to stand up. Now, it seems that you guys are finally coming to your senses that it should be a thing of choice rather than trying to persuade persons with lies. So, the new order of business is, if you guys take the job and want to come into St. Vincent, you have to spend 2 days in quarantine. You either spend those 2 days inside of a hotel or you spend them in your private homes. But if you don't take the job, you have to take the 14 days. In both instances, a PCR test is also required. So which one do you prefer? In the other instances, they are saying that eventually business places would ask persons to take the job or to go home. There was also another one posed in which they said that if you don't take the job, a PCR test would be required every 2 weeks, and it would be rather expensive. So that's another choice you have to make. You see, if you have never seen someone with the big C, you might try to object everything. But we have seen persons with the big C, whether it's flu or what they call it, it's very painful. In all honesty, we cannot deny the fact that something doesn't exist. So, basically, what we should do, those who don't want to take the job, you just wear your mask, and if found without the mask, you accept responsibilities for your actions. The big man is saying some persons are talking about assessment, but right now, some persons are still in the shelters, and we accept that fact, that is true. He also said that there are some extended families, and sometimes they put in applications to try to get their own homes, which wasn't destroyed at all. That is another truth, because on this program we are giving Jack the jacket. But Mr. Bigman, I want you to address the issue in which some assessment were already done in some communities. For example, names were taken down, and some persons' houses were passed straight. For example, if those persons taking down names go into the village and ask persons whose house was damaged, how can Mr. Thomas say that Mr. Jack's house wasn't damaged? How can he know what happened to Mr. Jack's house? You need to make a public announcement on the television and on the radio. So you can say residents of Shatibile will be doing some assessment on a Monday. Residents of Byra would be doing some assessments on Tuesday. So even if that person cannot make it to that home, they can send a relative. Remember, we know what happens when liquor boots get involved in situations like this. They would shout, don't give Mr. Thomas, don't give Mr. Jack, and we don't want that. This time it is a national issue. This is what some persons don't understand. If some persons are relocated from the red zone, then the constituencies might have to change up a little bit. There are gonna be less persons. And in some communities, from a business point of view, there are gonna be less business, which means less income for some, which means increase in extreme poverty. So we have to look at it different ways. Right now, there are a lot of tourists looking in on St. Vincent right now. Even on the program, they contact untold stories. But the major issue is that we have a pandemic on our hands that need to be controlled. So the PM said in a live interview on NBC that they are trying to handle the volcano situation immediately with the helicopter. The lead scientist is saying also that you can't just go up there and drop the equipment. You have to have a specialist who know about it. And that's what I'm telling you. Let Lava Man and Dr. Robertson go together. Lava Man could be the guide, and Dr. Robertson could be the man to say where to put the equipment and how to put them. Simple. I told you before in many episodes that the big man is locked on to untold stories. There are some situations that the big man says that he don't get involved in. But I have a clip of him saying that he could just jump on the phone and call the director of Nemo immediately. Mr. Bigman, there are persons who evacuated and are in shelters that have reached out to Nemo, and Nemo called them back, and they have not received anything up to this day. So like you can jump on the phone and call Nemo immediately and tell them that there were some persons affected by the volcano eruption, and party supporters are being given the stuff over them. And as we said before, everybody is entitled to get in St. Vincent and the Grenadines because the country is in a state of extreme poverty right now. There are some party supporters, some liquor boots feeling a lot of pressure, and they are not saying anything because they know they were the ones jumping up. Also, when your party card holders do thing, jump on the phone immediately and tell them that they are going to receive the same treatment that the others are getting in the ghetto. So when they make trouble and they break the law, please remind them that they are not above the law. So make those calls immediately.
And all it will do is to take one telephone call from me to the relevant person. As soon as we finish, I'm going to call you and find out where there is any blockage. These are things which should have to be moved with rapidity.
Folks, you heard him for yourself. With that being said, I just want to big up the entire population of St. Vincent and the Grenadines as the regional islands and the international countries who are supporting and praying for us. We thank you. I'm out.